I can vocalize. How you folks doing tonight? Woo! It's a little cold out there. Not a big fan.
Yeah.
Ma'am, your question back there. What was your name, first of all?
Sharon Hundley.
Sharon. It's nice to meet you. Well, I do want to say that's exactly right. We need a message. Can I put this down? I really like to talk with my hands. I'm weird like that. A message, right? We need a winning message because that's what the left has. It might be all utopian, but it is something to look forward towards. It's something for them to lean into. We have the right message, folks. We're right on economics. We're right on everything, but we need good messengers. Here's my thoughts on how we win the future. What makes America great? I would say it's the middle class.
Freedom.
Well, of course, yeah, absolutely. Economically, I would say it's the middle class. And what makes the middle class? Well, home ownership. Well, right now, you got leftists up in New York City who are saying, home ownership is somehow a tool of white supremacy. Well, would you guys know that 49% of black Americans own their homes here in North Carolina?
Yes, we do.
That's why it's a great thing. And so that message right there needs to be squashed immediately. We need to be creating a path for our children to have opportunities to work good jobs so they can feel fulfillment, so they can actually attain a conservative lifestyle. Because guess what, folks? We're not actually creating the society that we want to see. We have high stock markets. We got all these things that we're working at, this AI, transhumanism that we're pushing. Look, folks, today's my daughter's 3rd birthday. I drove up here because I know it's important to be here. That's how much I care. I literally stepped away from my daughter's 3rd birthday. But the reason I did that is because I know if I'm not out here fighting this culture war right now, her birthday means nothing in 20 years. We're hitting a precipice where our children are not going to have opportunities to work. They're not going to have opportunities to buy houses. We've got foreign illegals that are coming in here taking up the jobs of the factories that we're creating. We're not actually ensuring that these jobs are going to be around after 10 years when the robotics hit a marketable price and it's no longer profitable to have a human on the line. Look, I'm not a socialist, but work is what makes conservative lifestyles real. If I can't work with my hands and feel the fruit of my labor, then I'm not really in it. And so, why am I working for a system that's only working to replace me and my children's ability to create the lifestyle that I enjoy? And this AI push, we're creating these data centers which are soaking up all the energy, all the water. We've got, I drove up 87, stopped by Chemours DuPont. They're still pumping PFAS into our waters for a slap on the wrist. This is forever chemicals, folks. They're affecting my biology, my daughter's biology at the cellular level. The slap on the wrist isn't enough. I'm sorry, I'm a capitalist, but that's not capitalism. That's predatory. That's why the young people are shifting to the left. Because we're not actually out there holding these corporations accountable, the ones that are pumping microplastics into the environment. I have microplastics in my testicles, folks. I have low testosterone. You wouldn't believe it, but at the rate that this is not okay. This is not okay. It's a real problem. And I mean, it might sound kind of funny, but the next generation is going to be dealing with some real issues. So we got to give them a future worth fighting for. And so I think that we need conservatives that are willing to help push back against this AI lunge into the darkness, this transhumanist future. They say the stock market's at a high. Well, guess what? I don't know anyone that's my age that owns any stocks, I'll tell you that. And so that's not the best indicator of fruitfulness. Me and the wife, she hates it when I say that, I'm sorry. Me and my wife, we were lucky enough to actually attain the American dream just as the interest rates were shooting up, just as it was becoming impossible. If I'm going to continue to work and serve the community, I need to make sure that those things are going to be available. Otherwise, what am I doing? I serve this nation with honor and integrity, and I'd do it again if I had to. And I bled on the battlefield. But if this is what I was fighting for, I'm very ashamed. Now, that doesn't have to be the case. We can continue reaching for the goals that we need, the future that we need to provide our kids. It doesn't have to be that way. So, back to your answer. So, you as well, sir, you mentioned it as well. How do we bring in the black community up here in Fayetteville? Well, I think we preach wholesome Christian values. I mean, when you look at the black community before segregation ended, there was a nuclear family. Patriarch was the head of the family household. Teaching values, Christian values. Literacy rates were through the roof. Business ownership through the roof. Now, there's been a systematic degradation of all communities across the nation. I think it was a Marxist scheme to get us pitted against each other. I think we all feel the same way. But that's why a good, wholesome Christian message is how do we actually fight that? Because we have the values. We have the lifestyle that everyone really wants. We just need good messengers. We need the right people to get up there and convey this to our kids and let them know, you know, the left has some good ideas that are kind of fantastical and that they're not rooted in reality or even economics. And so that's the thing. We need good messengers to get out there to those communities and talk to folks and shift their mindset. Look, we want more black home ownership, not less, right? Right. And that's the thing. This whole idea of property, of ownership, it goes back to the Russian Revolution, folks. I don't know if you know this. The Cheka went after the kulaks, okay? The kulaks being any landowners. And it went from big farms, and then eventually they whittled all the way down to if you own your home, you're a kulak, and we're taking it from you. It starts out wide, and then it narrows. And this is the similar thing that's happening right now on the left. We see it happening in California. We see it happening in New York City. Hell, even in Minneapolis. And so that's the thing, folks. We've got to get better messengers. We need to curate younger, conservative leaders. And that's not all older folks, but like we need to actually have a party that's vested in finding the next generation of leadership and helping bring them to the surface rather than hold them down, essentially. And that's why I'm a term limits guy. I think we should have term limits. If I'm elected to NC7, I pledge term limits. I won't do more than 2 terms. Me and my family will forfeit our right to buy, sell, and trade stock as representative. I don't know why they're allowed to do that to begin with. It's dumb. I'm not sure why we do that. Allow it. I won't take no super PAC money. The only PAC money I'll take is from veterans groups because I'm big on veterans issues. We need to fight big pharma, the over-pharmaceuticalization that's taking place, not just of our veterans, but the entire population, folks.
Right.
We need more holistic healing. The FDA is bound by big pharma because guess who does the research for the FDA? Big pharma. So things need to be changed structurally, not just, there's an urgency, folks. There's truly an urgency. I mean, they are creating technology which will destroy our way of life. This chip that I like Elon Musk a little bit, but he dabbles a little bit too much into the transhumanism. The chip that they're creating, they're selling it to us in the concept of, oh, don't you want a quadriplegic to walk again? And it's like, of course. But if you can make a quadriplegic walk, you can make someone who can't walk not walk. Yeah. And I don't like that capability. And we're having this, it's not even Orwellian, it's like a Brave New World. It's Aldous Huxley selling us this Hegelian dialectic that we have to walk ourselves into this future. And we don't, folks. We do not. And so, I want to sell the future. I want to give our kids something to reach for, something to actually have something worth fighting for, worth going to school for. Right now, AI. I keep hearing about AI. Sorry, Shmi, but I got to talk about this. Our school kids can't read. These kids are going to vote.
Come to Impact Academy, you got to read.
Yeah.
Right here.
Well, the thing is, like at my last job, they didn't want me to send an email without revising it with the AI. It's like, well, why did you hire me to begin with? And then in so doing, you lose the skill. And so I'm losing my skill set because you want me to use this tool that it leads to degradation, folks. The kids are going to continue on a downward spiral. They're going to continue manipulating them because they're even dumber.
Yeah.
And we're going to lose our way of life. Now, it doesn't have to be that way. We don't have to lurch towards that future. And I don't think we will. I think more people are starting to wake up and hear the truth, a Christian truth, and actually lean towards a biblical teaching and a biblical lifestyle. I love our agricultural lifestyle. I want to push for small-scale family farms. On the way up here, I passed by Smithfield. We need to force divestment of Chinese ownership of our pig industry. Hello? I'm not sure why that was allowed to begin with, but it should be done immediately. And again, some conservatives go, well, that's against the free market. Well, the market doesn't exist. We don't exist to serve the market. The market exists to serve us. The moment that the market starts hurting the American children, I don't care about the market. Okay? Now the thing is, the market does work for us. But we've allowed our jobs to be sent overseas for slave labor costs, essentially. And they tell us it's a good thing because your stocks are so high. Well, it's not good because now all these jobs that the black community used to majority dominate are being dominated by illegals. These factory jobs, these good jobs, or even truck drivers.
54%.
Amen. And it's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. You deserve those opportunities. Your children deserve those opportunities. And that's what we got to fight for, folks. And I think that's what wins us the message, is the future. We fight for their future, a wholesome future. And I think a lot of folks are going to resonate with that, especially the young folks. And hopefully we can get some energy. What am I doing to get the young folks energized down in Wilmington? Up here in Fayetteville? I'm doing community cleanups, so I'm not doing door knocking. They don't like door knocking. They like doing community cleanups, though. You throw on some red t-shirts, get up there, pick up some trash, get some viral photos, do a little social media push. You'd be surprised at how many more eyes that hits than the 17 doors that you had to herd cats to all day. It's a big deal. The battlefield is evolving, folks, and we need to evolve with it. Social media is a useful tool. We need to actually be up there branding ourselves in such a positive way that we don't have to knock 5,000 doors in a week to get our message across. And so with that, my name is David Buzzard. If you get a chance, take a look at my website. It's nc4buzzard.org. Unfortunately, I can't stay here to answer your questions tonight. My second daughter, who just turned 1, she's got a fever. I gotta get home. It's like 1:02. I gotta make sure she's good to go. But I did find it very important to be here to actually talk to you folks, because that's how I take the job. That's how I will take the job. I'll be present. And that's the thing. We need representatives that are present. So my name is David Buzzard. I hope to hear from you guys, and hope you guys have a great rest of your night. And thank you so much for being here and fighting. That's how we're going to win.